This is a video for the Dislyte boys. If you're not them, get out.
Hello and welcome back to Dislyte News, the Dislyte News for your Dislyte News. New version is coming up and we're talking about Espers yet again. So this one is actually going to be a bit more interesting than the few previous ones because this one is the patch right before the Celestial Anomaly. What does that mean? I'll explain later. So first up, let's talk about the current patch new Esper, Zhou Hong is still just a PvP only Esper. The only thing that you can maybe say he can be put in PvE for is his AP boost. The buff he gives to his ally also gives that ally a 25 AP boost every time they take an active turn. And the fact that Zhou Hong also has a minus 20% speed when it comes to his own buff, it just means that he's not taking a lot of turns, and the ally who's doing the damage, or well, the fastest one, it depends, will be doing all of the damage. So there is a small thing here that you can say that maybe he can be put in PvE, but I don't think it's exactly good enough just yet. But if you're pulling for Zhou Hong, R0 is actually enough. So ultimately for Zhou Hong, I would still say it's a skip. So now let's talk about the new Esper, Lapis. Lapis is a PvE Esper, finally. And for now, all I really see is that she's going to be good in Shadow Stream and nothing else. Because she's a Esper that focuses on speed, and it just means that she takes a lot of turns. And that's not really that good for Falsetto Fantasy, where you just want to take a lot of like pursuit attacks and stuff to reduce your turn count. For Lapis, R0 is good, but her resos do make her better. For Lapis, I would say for now it's still not worth, because there are still other DPS that are better than Lapis, but things might change, so just keep an eye out. And now we go to the weekly Espers. For week 1, we have Abigail and Sienna. Abigail is not really used anymore. She used to be used a bit in like the Falsetto Fantasy teams, but now not so much anymore because everyone's just pursuit attacking. For Abigail, she's in the old Falsetto Fantasy team because she has a good cooldown reset where she can reset the cooldowns of Inferno Espers at R2 and also reset the cooldown of one Esper at R6. And that just so happens to be her best resos, R2 or R6. But for now, I would say Abigail is not worth, because she really isn't used anywhere. So yeah. For Sienna's kind of an old Esper, and the trend with old Espers is that they just don't really do things as well as the new Espers anymore. For Sienna, I personally use her in Shadow Stream, but that might change a bit with the upcoming patches because it seems they're going to focus more on PvE now. So yeah. For Rezos, R2 is a good stopping point, but her other resos do make her better. Overall, I would say that Sienna is also not worth. For week 2, we have Elif and Osana. For Elif, don't need to say anything, still the best PvE DPS that we have. She's used in a lot of the PvE stuff and can also be used in PvP, but the catch is, you need her at R6. So unless you got a lot of wish stones saved up, you probably shouldn't go for her that quickly. And even though I said that just now, Elif is a must pull. So if you have the wish stones, just spend it all on Elif, because all these other Espers coming up, they're not worth anyways. But one side note is that the next patch after this one will be the start of Celestial Anomaly. And Celestial Anomaly Espers are usually quite meta. So save up like 100 or 200 if you want of wish stones just in case, because something tells me Celestial Anomaly Espers, they're gonna break a few things. Next up we have Osana. Osana is a really good early DPS. She can actually dish out quite a lot of damage, and the best part is R0 is all you need for it. You don't need any of the other resos, you don't really need her Divinate. You just get one copy and you have a really good DPS. The only thing is that Osana definitely only PvE, because in PvP, she's not really gonna do much. So for Osana, I would say it's quite worth if you're like early to mid game, but once you reach end game, Osana is just not worth it. So for week 3, we have Hyde and Mavis. So for Hyde, despite having the thing where he can get gold rim buffs now, he's still not used a whole lot. The only thing I can think of for Hyde is that he can be used in like the really early stages of PvP, but after that he's really just useless at that point. But if you do want to get Hyde, R4 and R6 are good resos to have. For Mavis, she's still a really good Esper. Even though she's not really used all that much anymore, she's still really good in both PvE and PvP in what she does, which is keeping your team alive. Ultimately, for Mavis, R0 is enough. Anything above R0, it's kind of just good to have. So for Mavis, I wouldn't say she's a must pull anymore, but I would say she's quite worth in terms of R0. And that's about it. So yeah, that's all the Espers that are coming out next patch. Next patch, the real interesting thing is level 70 is coming. So that's gonna break a few things. But as of now, it seems that we can only get the level cap level mons, that's what they're called, that we can get like 5 of them, which is enough to level up one of the characters for the next patch. Not sure how we're gonna be able to get them after that, but for now, there's only 5 in the next patch. So yeah, have fun choosing who you're gonna level 70. It's either you PvE it up or you get died in PvP. Yep, there's no winning in this game. Anyways, share more stickers. Bye.